What is up, everybody? I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties there earlier, but I think we're good to go now. Um, Welcome back to another FP draft, live draft. Today we got a 12-man keeper league. Keep two players. It's category bangers, so pretty unique league that I guess I'm not used to, and it's kind of a fresh draft for myself. None of the other FP guys are in it, but it is still a league I've been in for a few years now, and yeah, it's kind of a unique one for me. Kind of have to change your thought process a little bit, but I'm glad everyone that could join is here, and thanks for tuning in. What's up, Sav? Good to see you. Yeah, I think it was a combination of some internet problems and then YouTube making me verify myself. But problem is that between the three and four guys on FP, we only have one phone that's connected to the account. So anytime one of us tries to log in and verify the, the the person whose phone it is, it's actually Mike. He's got to be on his phone and able to verify and confirm it's us. Yeah, let's go through the keepers. Good idea, Sav. So my team, I kept this year Hughes and Kucherov. You can see it's a pretty extensive league in terms of the category coverage. You got rank of each of these guys in this. I guess X rank is actually not in this league, but it's just in general. So those are the ranks for it. But the categories: goals, assists, plus minus, which I'm not really a fan of, PIMS, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and blocks. And then we also got the goalie categories: wins, goals against average, saves, shots against, save percentage, and shutouts. So very large league and probably too many categories in general, but it's still a pretty fun league, and I'm looking forward to it. This is kind of a league that I would take advantage of the uh, of our cheat sheets here, and in particular the EV sheets. So these value sheets are kind of what we use to assess how good a player is in a particular category compared to like league average. So these are kind of the numbers you see here, where Brady is far and away the total EV leader because he covers so many categories for you that someone like McDavid doesn't. So that's why he's got a little bit of a bump here. Unfortunately, Brady was kept Kachuk, so I won't be able to get him. I've kind of been going through here and marking off the keepers, and because of the kind of the randomness of the categories, we have a lot of guys like Radko Gudas listed fourth fourth overall, which obviously is not going to be the case, but he's definitely someone people will target early in this league. Thanks for joining, guys. Sorry about the little technical difficulties earlier, but glad we could get this up and running now. Just gonna send the correct link out on Twitter now that we have it. I think when the first stream kind of cut out, it made me start a new one, and that kind of ruined the stream that anyone would have had a notification waiting for. But let's see if we can edit this now. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in now. We're about 4 minutes until draft time. I've got seventh pick. Once again, it's a two-man keeper, 12 teams. Keep two guys, and it's pretty much full bangers, including penalty minutes. So this is a pretty unique draft, one that covers a lot of categories, and one I haven't done as well as I would like to, and haven't done as well as I have in some other leagues that are a little bit normal, but this is still a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I got seventh pick, and I'll show you my keepers again for those of you that are just joining now. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm assuming anyone in here by now is indeed a subscriber already, but share the word with your friends, and the advertisement helps. So some guys, I'm going to be targeting Darlene pretty early, I would say. He's the third ranked defenseman. Actually, he's the first ranked defenseman in this league, and I have him pretty high up on our category coverage sheet. I'm just going to move these there. And these are available to anyone on Patreon, guys. A lot of people, I think, forget about these tabs down here and are solely focused on these player projections, but there's a lot of other goodies in here too, guys. So definitely check out these tabs. I know some people aren't as well versed in Excel, but Google Sheets, Excel, same kind of thing. But definitely take a look at these if you're in a category league. Thoughts on Bennett at 182, even though I have Barkov and Reinhardt? Yep, I would definitely grab Bennett that late. He's kind of a gem in bangers leagues, so when he's healthy, I should say. But yeah, 182 is a solid place for him. 3 players on the same team is nothing to fret about. That's completely fine, especially because it's a playoff team like Florida. Beat toll breaks. I got a 20-team draft Saturday. 20 teams is probably too much for me. I feel like that's going to be a very long draft, and you're getting into really, really deep sleepers. But there's also some a little bit extra, I guess, intrigue in that because you have to do a little bit more research, and you can kind of get an advantage on someone if you know a little bit more on the deep sleepers, kind of like guys like Cam York or Perunovic that you can kind of steal late in the draft and then might have some value later on in the season. All hockey card breakers. Oh, wow. That's a good idea. Go Sens. Yeah, Kay, you like the Brady Tkachuk jersey there? I figured because it was a bangers league, I'd go with the best bangers player around, but he's one of my favorite players for sure. All right, we're just about a minute until draft time. Yeah, Sav, I did see Brant Clark was sent to the AHL already, so that was, I think some FPs talked about in some of their videos before, so that's too bad, but we were saying in the Discord, I think he'll probably be up, middle of the season, maybe earlier, especially if some injuries occur for the Kings, so that's too bad, but I guess it was just a numbers game, and he could be sent down. In terms of players available, I will show you there's a bunch of goalies. Not really going to grab a goalie too early in terms of forward and D. Darlene's actually the top ranked guy, and then you got some of the Myers, the Millers, who I like, Zibanejad, Stamkos. Stützle is someone I'm going to target too. Svechnikov, who I think I had last year. Dougie, Pedersen. So there's a lot of good value still. It's only a 2-keeper league, so only 24 players were kept at all. Is Brady really rated higher than McDaddy with these settings? Yes. He's rated higher in terms of their value he brings in each category. So in just general projections, he's ranked first as well, but I would probably still take McDavid first just because the offense is there. But yeah, he covers way too many categories. For category leagues, you can kind of set these to just all be one because, everything is equal, but Darren says, who is Florida's backup? I believe it's Anthony Stollers, the Ducks' former backup, but don't quote me on that. There's a look at the keepers, too, if you guys haven't seen them yet. So, first overall had Matthews Marner, and then he took Bedard first. That's interesting. There's no limit to the keepers, so I've had Cooch for a few years in this league, and he's pretty much done me well. Unless he completely becomes a non-relevant fantasy player, I can't see him not being kept next year too. So we see Bedard, Tage, and Fox go first 3 off the board. How do I get into your Discord? We've got the link in our bio, and I will also post it for you just after my pick in 4 picks there, B-Toll. So there goes Darlene. So that goes, there's my pick gone. I'm probably going to go to JT Miller. I know I've talked about him before on another stream. I like Timo Meier as well. Let me take a look at some of these. So Meyer's actually really, really well ranked here. I just don't know about that. That's kind of factoring in his San Jose days, not necessarily his New Jersey days. Let's see. We got Meier here, and look at that. So they're actually really close. They're back-to-back, Meier and Miller. I think I'm going to go Miller just because I like Vancouver's I like what he can do in Vancouver with a little bit more freedom. So Meyer's got a lot of competition on those wings. So if he doesn't produce, and he wasn't producing when he got traded there, then I could see him, moving up and down the lineup. I agree. Just traded Meyer. Okay, what'd you get for him, Jerry or Gary? More mouths to feed. Exactly. Yeah, we've been saying that for a while, Uzman. So, not that it's a bad thing. I'm not going to necessarily avoid Devils players because of it, but it's just something you got to think about that not everyone could get points on every goal. Who do you personally like between Brady and Matthew Tkachuk with these settings? That's a very tough question. Okay, so Miller's there. Um, let's see. Stützle went. Ovi went. So I was considering Stützle probably on the turn. I'm gonna go with Miller here. I have a lot of stock now in Miller, which I don't know if I like, but I think he covers a lot of categories for me. So I will go with JT Miller. So to answer your question, Kate, with these settings, I'm probably going to take Matt Tkachuk just because he's got that point floor. Brady's kind of been that just got to that point per game level last year, and while he has probably better peripherals than his brother, Matt's got 100 points kind of in his future for the next few years, while Brady hasn't quite reached that tier. Predict 90-point season for Miller. If he gets that, I would be very happy. As I said, I have a lot of stock in him. Luke Hughes. You traded Meyer for Luke Hughes, Jerry? I don't know about that. I like the Meyer side on it. Unless you traded Hughes for him. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Groch. You're right. The 300 shots is something that the value he brings is in his shots and that kind of category. And if he's not going to meet that, then his value is going to go down in terms of a bangers league. If a guy scores a point on the power play, it covers more than one cat. You need to weight it more. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. I just kind of think of it as that you're only helping that category necessarily, winning that category, but that's an interesting way to look at it. You got Jack too. Don't want 3 Devils. Oh wow. Okay, but you traded for Luke Hughes. He's on the Devils too. Let's bring this back up. I don't really like looking at this with these keepers down here. I thought it should be going this way. But so Yossi, after my pick, we went Shesterkin, Yossi, Zib, Hellebuck. So we see 2 goalies go. Only 3 goalies were kept in general. They're not. They're kind of random too. It heavily favors the volume goalies here because of how many save percentage. So if you get a lot of shots, you're gonna make a lot of saves. That's why Gibson's very high rated in this. Might target him as a number 2 maybe, but I won't be taking him as my number 1. God bless you, Jerry. Exactly. Did the team with Giroux not have a better option? I'm not sure. I was wondering that too. I was thinking about Claude, and there's one other team I was seeing that I was like, I'm surprised they took it. Yeah, I think it was the Marchand. Again, maybe they just remember the Marchand in Boston a few years ago when he was in his prime, but I would not have kept him. I was pretty happy with my team and keepers. I had Meyer. I traded for Luke. Still 2. Anyways, yeah. All right. Well, Jerry, I recommend you watch some more of our videos. Maybe ask our Discord next time you're about to make a trade because we'll help you out and get you the best value possible for your guys. Minute clock on here is too long, but all right. So Sorokin, right after Hellebuck, and now we're going back. I think I'm gonna go to this view. I like this a little bit better. So Hellebuck, Georgiev, Meyer. So they put the 2 keepers at the end, which makes sense, and then we're back to Meyer here. So I gotta think about my pick. I kind of like Dougie. I think Dougie's someone I'm going to be targeting, but I also like Svechnikov. Practicing a yellow, so he hasn't been in a regular jersey, which is a little concerning. He's coming from a pretty serious injury. I wonder what Carlson does on the pens. I took Letang way later than he normally goes. Yeah, Letang was always a good bangers D. He kind of did a lot of category coverage for you, and he was PP1, and he didn't really have competition for PP1. So now with Carlson there, I don't know if they're going to kind of do a split where they both get some reps on PP1 and the other on PP2, or maybe they go 2D too. So you never know what they do. They're going to be missing Gensel for the first few games as well, so he might him being gone might play a role in them being both on a higher power play. So 2 picks here until I am up. Okay, Dougie just went, and Allmark went. I don't really like the Allmark pick that early, but I guess you do have to get goalies. So elite ones are gone. I still kind of like the Markstrom, Demko, and then I said Gibson's kind of a surprise goalie I didn't really expect to be liking here. All right, so I am now up, and we just saw Point and Stamkos go. So back-to-back bolts. Pedersen's there. I don't know if he covers enough categories for me yet, and I just took Miller on the same team. So I might kind of go Hyman here. I think I kind of want some touch Edmonton a little bit. Or I could go to a D. I did run into that issue last draft that I streamed where I kind of had to panic and take a D that I didn't really want. But you can kind of see not a ton of D were kept. I think I'll be okay to go with another forward here. Yeah, I'm going to go Svetch. I'll take that dual wing eligibility. All right. I trade Panarin for Gensel because of Karlsson effect. I don't mind that. Panarin's a lot better of a player on the ice than he is in fantasy. That seems to be a common trend in New York. Fox is like that too. I'd probably still lean Panarin's side, but we will see what Gensel can do when he comes back, and if he comes back at 100%. Funny enough, both of them can be injury prone. We shall see. Can you show the picks while you speak? Sure, I can. I kind of prefer this because this one was getting a little clustered. I think some people have traded for picks, so they're picking earlier and stuff, but I will show the round by round. So that's where we are. So there goes Swayman too, by a Bruins fan. Team name Leaf Killer. Hyman with the dual positions is clutch. Yes, I do. I would be perfectly fine with Hyman there. I just like Svetch's hitting ability. Who do you like between Larkin and Eichel? I'd probably favor Eichel. Larkin, I like Detroit's potential this year, and I took DeBrincat in a couple leagues already because I like his renaissance story, but Eichel's probably a safer bet. He showed he was 100% healthy last year, and he had a great playoffs. I usually wouldn't touch a player like Panarin in Bangers League, but he fell to me in the 5th. Yep, 50th plus is perfectly fine for Panarin. All right, so I think I'm going to go to a D here. Karlsson is there. I don't know if I want to grab him, though, yet. Hughes is not really a great Bangers D. Let's see if I can get some of these clicked off. Dahlin went. I took Miller and Svetch, so that's good. I took 2 top 20 players from that ranking, from our projections. Svetch there, really solid, kind of all around, does a little bit of everything. So we see, okay, so we saw Swayman go. Pedersen went there, so that's great for Pedersen, I think, especially if you need a center. Freddie goes, Samsonov goes, McAvoy, and Verhaeghe. So wow, we're pretty all over the map here. You can see these X ranks, so I'm surprised by these 2 goalies, but I might have to get a goalie here just because of how quick they're going here. Makes sense, thanks. Hughes is a point per game D with 40 power play points upside. You're crazy not taking him in a keeper league. Yeah, the thing is it's only a 2 keeper league, so I don't know. Is he going to be a top 2 player on my team this year? Probably not. He could very well be, but I'm not sure he's going to crack that top 2. I had to decide between a couple guys. I think I had to drop Yossi in favor of Hughes and Kucherov, but yeah, I could consider him. Yep, no worries. It's only a two keeper, so that's why there's some really good guys pretty early in the draft still. So Gustafson's still there, as well as Kemper, who's probably going to be good in this league considering Washington doesn't look to be too strong this year. And then there's also Markstrom, Demko. So I kind of think a lot of people are taking goalies right now, so that might help me out in terms of being able to wait a little bit. The other thing is that it's a 12-man league too, so not a 10. So we're going to see minimum top 24 goalies go off the board in this draft. Picked up Fantilli and Cooley and just going to see which one pops off. Yeah, that's a good idea, Kay. They're both kind of exciting guys to watch. Fantilli's kind of impressed me more than I thought he was going to, and Cooley had that like day one goal that everyone was talking about. So the future is bright for both those guys. Okay, let's see who I gotta pick here. So we see Bobrovsky go. That's a little early for him. Nurse, who's going to be a good Bangers League D-man. Nuge, Aho, and Trouba. Okay, so some D are going off the board now. I think I'm still going to wait on a D. On a goalie. I'm going to probably take a D. I really want to take Heiskanen. And Seider is also there as well. Oh, jeez. What are we thinking, chat? Sergachev, Heiskanen, Seider. Heiskanen's going to probably have the better power play production, but Sergachev has a lot better coverage in these three categories here, as does Seider, but a little worried about the plus minus. Heiskanen for sure. Yeah. He's got the higher ADP too, so never a bad idea to trust the crowd. All right, let's go Heiskanen here. I'm pretty sure I traded for Heisk last year, but I like that pick there, and I'm hoping one of those guys might even be available at the next pick in round 4. How's everyone's drafts going for everybody? You got some good teams so far? Anyone had some tough picks they had to make, or adds and drops that they're asking about? Tanked on purpose for Bedard last season. That's a good call, Gary. Loving the stream, great insights. Appreciate it, Kay. That means a lot. We're always happy to share the knowledge and share our tools with people. So we're glad that the fantasy hockey community is growing, and we're glad to see the FP community growing. 10-man keeper draft on Monday. Oh, that'll be good. How many keepers there, Jerry? So let's have a look. So after my Heiskanen pick, we saw JT go, Tavares, Hedman, and Carlson. So that's good. 2 vet D that I wasn't really targeting. I think it'll probably be another D that I go back to here. It'll just depend if it's going to be Sergachev or Seider. I would be fine with either. I think I kind of like I like taking the risk here on Seider's upside. First drafts tonight, 3 and 4 nights. Oh, that's quite a lot to pack in there, James. But we've all been through those. Anyone who does a lot of fantasy leagues has done those kind of 3 straight nights of drafts or something like that. So that's gonna be really fun. Let us know either in the chat or in the Discord how it goes. 6-4 D Cats and 4 goalie Cats league. Do I take a goalie in round 3-4 since the Cats are almost even? Well, if there's 6 skaters and 4 goalie Cats, is it a points league? Is it kind of work out like that? How it's even? I'd probably think you could wait on a goalie unless one falls. So we see Kempe go. That's too bad because I kind of like him. And Hyman went a lot later than I was considering him. DeBrincat, Sergachev goes. Okay, so I think Seider's going to be my pick here. Not sure what. Oh, 5D, 3D, 2 goalie. I think you mean 5 forwards, 3D, 2 goalies. Your vids helped me a lot with my draft. Was able to get a lot of guys I wanted. Awesome, Tyler. That's great to hear. Honestly, probably mostly Chris and Mike, but I will pass on your appreciation to them. It's a team effort here, so we appreciate it. My 10-man keepers draft Monday too. That's awesome. So a lot of people seem like they have Monday drafts. I'm glad to get it over with on Friday, Saturday. My last draft is on Saturday, but yeah, I have plans kind of Sunday night, so I'm glad to get it over with. Okay, so I'm going to go Sider here. That seems like the obvious choice here. Great category coverage. He's going to be high in this. Yeah, there he is. So kind of a top 15, 20 player. That's going to help my D out a lot. I ended up with Luke Hughes and added Byram from waivers. I hope they can pop off this season. Yeah, so it looks like Byram was playing some power play 2 with Devin Tays in the most recent lineup I saw. So Colorado looks to be they honestly have way too many D that could play power play between Byram, Tays, Makar obviously, and then Sam Girard too. A lot of people are forgetting about. So if they're all healthy, they have some tough sits that they have to make on the power play, but ultimately, I think Makar will obviously be PP1, and then Byram, I think, will end up being PP2 by either middle of the season or end of the season. Tays is a great power play guy too, but they just need him mostly for 5-on-5. Feeling great about my team. That's awesome, Kate. You should post it in the Discord too. We have a Rate My Team channel. That gets some traction kind of when people post teams. You can get some feedback on it if you're lacking in a certain position. Sider should have a big season. I agree. Sider was on my target, such a stud. Other owners reached for him. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Maybe it's the FP wearing off on them if they're viewers. All right, I keep forgetting to put these back up. All right, so after my Sider pick, we saw Kreider. So back-to-back rhyming names, Sider and Kreider. Joe Pavelski goes, and then Victor Arvidsson. So Arvidsson's kind of an interesting pick too, but that's the offense they're picking. So I think I can go off of a D now. I don't need to pick the D. Kane is still there. That's very intriguing to me. Barkov is still there. He doesn't do a ton of hitting or blocking, but I do like his potential, especially this late. Gensel's there. Joel Eriksson X, also a guy that I can probably get really late in this draft, unless someone just kind of sorts by rank and goes off of that. Who else? Bouchard is there. He's another great guy. Connor's still there, so there's lots of value here still, and it's such a random draft in terms of how they weigh these categories. You got to balance the plus minus, so you got to pick from good teams. So this is gonna be fun. I got 10 picks left. Vegas Navs had a very entertaining preseason game last night. Both teams look like powerhouses. Yep. That's for sure. They're going to be relevant for another 5 to 10 years probably. Vegas got a great start off their expansion draft, and they don't seem to be slowing down. My top sleeper this year is Owen Tippett. I'm aiming for him in my league. Yep, Tippett's a great guy to grab. He still doesn't have the good name value that like a lot of guys would. With his capability, so you can still get him for a good price. But next year, I could see him easily moving up, kind of in the top 100. Banger League. I'm in 20-team head-to-head cat league. Wow, a lot of you guys are in 20-team leagues. I don't even have 20 hockey fan friends that would play that. They would draft and play for 2 weeks and then quit. I'm in 20-team cat league. Drafted Patrick Kane 248th in round 13. Currently unsigned and may struggle with hip. How long do you hold him before going to waiver? I would hold him for as long as you can, really. I don't know if you have an NA spot in your league, but that you could maybe try and bribe your commissioner to put one in for you. But otherwise, I think you can hold them maybe the month, see how the month goes. Some teams are going to have some injuries where they might need to grab a winger. Kane's going to be available, so I know he's posted some videos showing that he's healthy and he's skating, so I think he's going to play this year. It's just going to be for who and what kind of role will he have. I'm in a face-off league. Do you like Dubois and or Jenner for left wing? I think Dubois is probably the better value overall, but Jenner is a really, really good sleeper, especially in face-off leagues. There was some stat, I think it was a mixture of a certain threshold of points, hits, and I want to say shots on goal, and he was like one of 2 players that did it last year, along with Brady. So Jenner's got some very, very good value, assuming he gets that 18 to 20 minutes that he did last year. Bouchard should be good value. Yes, he should. Okay, I'm gonna start queuing some of these guys. I'm not in no FP guys are in this league, so I shouldn't have to worry about anyone stealing my picks. I'll mark Quinn Hughes there for you, Jerry, too. I do still like him. Huberto, I will mark. Reinhardt, Bennett, Kadri, I will not. Let's take a look at the picks here. So after Arvidsson was the last one, Morrissey goes, Kyle Connor goes, Zook, okay, Demko, Petro, Dubois, Campbell, and Kemper. Okay, I think I need to grab a goalie here. I might have been waiting a little too long. Gustafsson is there. Let me take a look at these goalie projections. I don't know where we have Gustafsson in this kind of league. So 16th ranked. I probably like him a little bit more because of he's going to win games. Minnesota's pretty good. So we got him 10th in wins there. I think if Gustafsson's there, I have to take him, and then I can kind of wait and maybe grab a Markstrom in a few rounds, or even Husso for the volume. And then, as I said, that John Gibson is someone I might have to take as like a third goalie or even a second just because of his volume. Just said about 200 games too, prime for breakout. Bouchard, yep, that's a good point. He had amazing playoffs. Do you think Gaudreau's point ceiling is high enough to compensate for his weak peripherals in a banger league? Yep, I do. We've talked about Gaudreau, the FP crew and I, kind of about how he's not getting talked about anymore, mostly because he's on Columbus, and B, he had a kind of a disappointing year. So he might not be getting back to that 100 points that he had in Calgary, but definitely like 80 plus is possible. He could still easily be a point per game. Kind of compare him to Panarin, I think, but might have a worse plus minus. Having McDavid in a 20-man league is cheating. Yeah, that's crazy. That's very lucky too. So if you get first overall pick, or you happen to have first overall pick the year you started your keeper league and got McDavid, then you are set. Johnny Hockey gets a lot of shot on goal, and Fantilli at center is going to be a massive draft. Draft Columbus late for good value. Yeah, I agree with that. There's lots of guys that are just about to break out in Columbus, I feel. Like you got Fantilli, a lot of people still forgetting about Kent Johnson there too. So there's lots of really young value there that I'm not necessarily drafting yet, but I'm keeping my eye on watch lists and the waiver wire where, if they have a good week and get, 5-6 points in a week, then I might scoop them up. Marchenko too, yeah. So Marchenko and Kuzmenko, they are both kind of guys that I'm a little hesitant on because of how high their shooting percentage was. So that's going to regress a little bit this year. Both of them could still hit that 30-goal plateau, but I don't know if they're going to necessarily shoot at the same rate. If they're going to want to do that, they're going to have to start shooting a little bit more. Are you sold on Korpisalo being ranked over Markstrom? Him being ranked over Markstrom is nuts to me. Yeah, that's... did Markstrom go already? I think he might have just gone. Oh, he did, and Gustafsson went. Oh, God. All right, Burns, Kane, Hughes, Markstrom, Tuck, Gustafsson, and Hintz have all gone, and Chychrun. So I really need a goalie now. I think I'll probably have to take Jari. Don't really like it, but he's going to get some wins in Pittsburgh, so they're still going to be relevant. Anyways, to answer your question, young prodigy, I am not sold on Korpisalo. I know he had some really good advanced analytics last year, particularly like high danger save percentage, but I don't know. I'm not sold on him yet. He hasn't proven for a full season that he's the guy or he's going to be a true number one. But we were looking at him on Columbus for most of the time, so that's not really a good sample to evaluate someone on. He played well in LA. Ottawa is going to be a step down from LA, so somewhere in the middle he should be. Who just add the ability for league commissioners to change eligibility of players. Yes, I saw that, Kay. That's pretty surprising. I think it's kind of them being a little bit lazy and not caring too much about hockey, especially during football. I'm not really a fan of it because of what you just said. If you have a kind of a sus commissioner or commissioner you don't know, don't be surprised if you see a couple guys on their team with like 4 or 5 position eligibilities. A lot of people are spending high draft capital on Levi. Sabres, very suspect on D. I think people get in trouble. Yeah, I don't mind Levi as like a number 2 goalie. That's kind of where I've taken him in a draft already. But it's definitely a risk because we don't know even if he's going to be the number 1. He's got Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Eric Comrie still there to compete for the crease. League with plus minus hits and no blocks. Who should I carry on the bench as my third center, Elias Lindholm or Sam Bennett? So any sort of projection tool is going to probably say Bennett because of his category coverage, and I'll go with him as well. Lindholm might have the point advantage, but if you think you're okay with points, then go Bennett. But if you want that extra point total, then go to Elias. Okay, I'm going to take Jari here, and I got another pick coming up really quick. So there's a goalie. I'll probably wait. There's a couple guys I like here, so I will go back to the all players. Jeek's there, Reinhardt's there, who I think I'll probably take. I need another right winger. Actually, I got 3 here, but there are other positions too. Trocheck's there, who's another solid center. Can't go wrong with him late. Let's check out the D here. Add a couple. So Uyghur was projecting well, I know, in this league. Montour is still there, so there should be IR stashes. Go Jari for sure. Yeah, I will take him and get a little bit of comfort in my goalie. Seth Jarvis going to have a breakout season this year. The stats show he's extremely unlucky. Yeah, I believe in Jarvis, and I'm definitely pro Jarvis. I haven't gotten to him in any leagues just because he's a little late. He's going a little earlier than I would like. He's kind of more of like a last 1 or 2 round pick for me right now. But I'd like to see it. Carolina's a team you can break out on easily. You just got to play into their system of shoot first. Draft Wi-Fi. Yeah, sorry if my Wi-Fi is not great, guys. I was having trouble just before the draft. That's why we had some technical difficulties earlier, but should be okay now. Might just have a buffer here or there. My Levi Demko tandem is going to get slam dunked on. No, I think you'll be fine with that, especially in a volume league. Those guys are going to make a lot of saves. Okay, so I will go Reinhardt here. Power play points too, something we can't forget about. He was 8th last year in the NHL in power play time on ice, so I see no reason for that to change this year, especially with Montour or Ekblad out. They're going to need all the offense they can get on the power play. So I'll go Reinhardt. Interesting. So they bumped Hughes down from center to left wing after I took Reinhardt. I was expecting him to go into the right wing position, but it would be really nice if Yahoo would let you pick what slot you want a dual eligibility player to go into, but that's probably too advanced for them. Montour, if you have Pim and Hit, he's best all around. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on Montour. Just a little concerned about his injury and him being out that long, so if he falls a little bit more, I'll take him. I think a lot of people in the league are going to be scared off by that out symbol. With Svetch still wearing a yellow in practice, do you fade him a bit? I took him here, actually. I took him 18th after 24 players were kept, so we're looking around like the 40th spot. I think that's fair for him in a bangers. Like, he's gonna come back. He's skating. He's too ahead of schedule to not play this year. So if he misses a week or two, it's nothing different than like Gensel. Points league with 1 goalie roster spot. Wow, 1 goalie roster spot. Drafted Schmid in last round as my second goalie in hopes of him taking 1A. Hold on to him or drop for Swayman, Fleury, Hart, or Vejmelka. I think you probably have to drop for Swayman because of a little bit more job security there. I know Allmark is there, but Swayman's going to get enough starts like he did last year. So Schmid, he had a good playoff run, but it was only for 1 series really, and they have Vanacek. Swayman's probably a little bit safer, but I like your thinking. Like, in a 1 goalie league, if you are not going to get an elite goalie, I don't mind taking 1 or 2 and just hoping one of them takes over. What about P. Kane? Yeah, let's add him to the queue. I like that. If I take Montour, I'm going to be a little less likely to take Kane just because I don't want 2 guys sitting on my bench collecting dust. But, yeah, that's good thinking. Let's take a look at these picks here. I got too caught up in the chat and talking. All right, so Barkov, Huberdeau, Natchez, Bouchard went there, so that's good. And then I took Jari. Wow, so Bouchard went right before me. DeBrusque, Heischer, Dunn, Hampus Lindholm. And then I take Reinhardt. Carlson goes there. So that's a great pick there. I like that a lot. Petrie, Keller, and Malkin. Got 8th overall in 12 team. I find drafting 5th, 8th to be the most difficult. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. 5th, 8th is I would agree with. 8th is the best out of those just because you are pretty close to the turn. So having like a 10, 11, or 12 draft spot is awesome because you don't really have to make a tough decision usually. You can usually pick two, and chances are you're going to get them. Okay, so Montour's still there. I don't know if I want to take him yet. Forsberg too. I can't forget about him. And Hagel, I'm interested a little bit this year. Raquel is there. Shea Theodore's still there. Konechny. I'm gonna not grab Konechny. There's Johnny there too. I'd like to think Columbus's plus minus is gonna improve a little bit, but you don't ever know with them. They battled a lot of injuries last year. Radko Gudas as Elkan. Yeah, Gudas is a really good D. He actually went already, probably really recently. I don't remember seeing his name. Yes, he went 2 picks ago. Okay, so I am up now. I think I'm going to take Forsberg, unless I want to go to another D. Do I go Montour? I got my pick next round. Falk's still there. Dobson's still there. There's still some good D. I don't know if I want to take Montour yet. Yeah, he'll come back. I'll go Montour. Eighth is the best other than top 3. Oh, I don't know. Eighth in a 10-man league maybe, but in a 12-man league, eighth is kind of tough. I'd rather pick on the end and kind of get two first-round value players in my first 2 picks. Let's see. Okay, so Fiala goes, and then Forsberg goes 2 picks after my pick of Montour, so someone else had their eye on him as well. That's too bad, but there's still lots of forwards I like out here. Don't forget to drop a like, guys, if you haven't already. You know it supports the channel, so just trying to grow it as much as possible. To your league mates, we hope everyone in your leagues do not see it, and all the FP secrets are safe with you. Batherson's there too. Wow, I thought he'd be a little bit higher, but I guess not because of that plus minus. I will also highlight those guys. I keep looking at these sleepers like the Konechnys and Jenners, then I remember the plus minus. So I can't be scared of it only one category, but it does it's a little worrying. Isn't Jari always injured? Yes, he has been, especially last year. DeSmith played way too many games, but supposedly he's healthy right now. I have not heard any news about him, so I'm hoping maybe he has a bounce back year because last year was a little disappointing for him. Mangiapane, this is someone you might want to look out for in your like 12-plus team leagues. He's, I think, playing first line, first power play right now, so it might just be a test run, like obviously that teams do in preseason, but he's someone to watch out for that has the ability to score 30. I believe he did it already 2 years ago, and FP's kind of been a fan of him for a while, so I would keep an eye out on him. Liney's there too. Yeah, that's another guy that you're punished by the plus minus. That's why I don't like this category. Stream OEL in Florida while Ekblad and Montour are out. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, actually. I can't imagine he's going to get picked. Yeah, he's not being drafted right now, and he's ranked 606, so that might be someone I pick up when I put Montour on IR. That's a good idea, though. Slow flow. All right, so I need another right winger to fit in that position, but I can actually move any of my other positions to it right now. So I have a left winger that can play right, and then I have 2 centers that can play right. So I can also go to a center here, but I might wait because I think centers are going to keep dropping. So goalie-wise, who are we looking at? Levi might have some good volume, and we know Gibson was a leading goalie in this league because of his volume. I think, as someone mentioned earlier, Buffalo's D is not spectacular. It's better, but it's not spectacular, so I can see him still getting a good chunk of saves. And then if I go with Levi, I probably will put a third goalie on my bench, especially in a 12-man league. But we will see. So Gudis Gold is up. Good as gold. Uyghur went. Gensel, Corpusalo, Tyson Berry. That's a little early for him. Drew Doughty, Tanner Jeannot. So that's you see someone completely punting all the categories except for hits. He did not have a good year last year. I can't imagine he's going to play in the top 6, but that's the hits there taking care of him. And then Noah Dobson. So all right. So who just went? Rasmus Anderson went. I did have him on my queue, but I am perfectly fine with him going. I'm probably going to take Marchessault here, another right winger, but he has a good shot volume, hits a tiny bit, like around 1 a game, and then his points is obviously not an issue. So I expect another like 60 points out of him. Solid right wing option. Thoughts on Aiden Hill, Logan Thompson stack? Yeah, so tandem goalies seem to be really popular this year. I was talking about this on my last stream too. New Jersey, Vegas, Boston. There's a few really good teams out there that seem to be doing kind of tandem goalie planning right now, where they have a 1A, 1B. So it's going to ultimately depend on who emerges this year as the number one. We saw Hill kind of carry them last year throughout the playoffs while Logan Thompson was hurt, but we can't forget about how good of a season Logan Thompson had before he got hurt. So pretty interesting there. I like that stack. If I was going to pick one of the three, taking into account ADP, I probably like Vegas the most. So I do not mind that Hill and Thompson stack. Is Zegras better to draft than Crosby? No, he is not. Take Crosby. He might be aging, but he's not going to be a nobody. So he showed he could stay healthy last year. So Crosby's definitely who I'd be taking over Zegras. So after my Marchessault pick, we see Falco, Tom Wilson again. So that's another guy that's strictly going to be hits. Morgan Riley, Stuart Skinner, who I was looking at for a goalie. I will probably still take a goalie here. I think I'm just going to go to Levi and then maybe like Husso on the bench. That's probably the best option. Gibson's there, but not sure if I'm actually going to take him and start him. So we'll see about that. Levi down here, but we only have him projected for 49 starts, while a lot of these like true number ones we have around 62, high 50s too. Team's looking all right so far. For those of you just joining now, it was a 2-keeper league, 12 teams, bangers, full bangers categories. So we're talking hits, blocks, penalty minutes, and plus minus. So a lot to take into consideration when you're making a pick. I kept Jack Hughes and Kucherov, who not necessarily bangers targets, but they're going to cover all the points, and I think there's a lot of banger options later on. Then around my forwards out with JT Miller, Andrei Svechnikov, Sam Reinhart, and Jonathan Marchessault. I kind of had to. I waited a little bit on goalies, which might end up costing me. They went pretty quick, even though there wasn't a ton of them kept. So I have Jari right now. I'm probably going to take someone like Husso next or Levi. And then D-wise, I'm pretty content with Heiskanen, Seider, and then Montour. I'll obviously have to get at least 2 more startable D because Montour's not going to start the season playing. So I'll need someone to fill in for him. Okay, don't tell me Levi went. And he did. Oh, brutal. I think that's the commish. So that's too bad to see him take that, but I will... I'll have to take someone. I think because of it being a volume league, I'll be fine going like Husso and Gibson here. So I'm going to take Husso here just to shore up 2 starting goalies. And then I will end up taking Gibson probably late. If I miss on Gibson, I can get Vejmelka too. So Crosby's such a special player. What a career. He is, Elkin. You are right. One of the best to ever do it. I still remember all those Ovechkin versus Crosby debates that I was in school and stuff. So, yeah, he's definitely a monumental player. All right, so I got to check on some of the D. Someone mentioned grabbing OEL late. I've got him queued up, but I could probably not even have to draft him. I can just pick him up. Dursey's an interesting option. Bad plus minus he's going to have still, but Seth Jones, again, guy that should have been drafted by now, but isn't because of that plus minus. Forsley is someone I should probably take, just especially because I have Montour going to be out, and then Shea Theodore's there too. So I seem to be getting a lot of, or looking at a lot of Vegas players. So I just took Marchessault. He's not the first Vegas guy I looked at. I'm a big Petrangelo fan. Clear saying Forsling. Yeah, Forsling or Theodore is probably who I'm going to end up taking next. Don't mind Hannafin either as like a fifth D. Klingberg's there. I expect he's going to have a plus this year being on Toronto instead of a minus, so that's hurting him a little bit. Another guy I'm very interested to see how he does this year, Scott Perunovich. So he was a Hobey Baker winner, I think 2 or 3 years ago when he was playing in NCAA. He has not been able to stay healthy, so not someone I'm going to be drafting again, but could easily I'm gonna watch list him. I'm gonna probably have an eye out for him this year. There's some rumors that he's gonna be playing PP1. He's really only got like Krug and kind of Falk to compete with for that role. So Krug's been a little unhealthy this preseason, and Falk, I don't know if they necessarily see him as like that offensive D-man to QB their power play. And they seem to be going younger this year, right? Like they got rid of Tarasenko, O'Reilly. They seem to be kind of going in the direction of their young guys, letting Kyrou and Robert Thomas take over. Thanks, Don. In a face-off league, what rounds would you be looking to draft your 1, 2, 3D? That's a tough question. In a face-off league, I still think like face-off leagues aren't going to really change how I draft my centers. There's still tons of center value late. Like we still have a ton of centers up here. For example, Trocheck, Joel Eriksson Ek is going to take a lot of key faceoffs from Minnesota. Sam Bennett's there still. Kopitar, Larkin. So I wouldn't worry too much about your forwards. Doesn't really change the draft for me. D, I would probably say get at least 2 D in your first 7-8 rounds. That's probably a safe bet. And then your third one, get between 8 to 11, 8 to 10. Depends on your league, really. A lot of people ask us questions like how many of this position should I take in my first 10 rounds or whatever, and there's really no like straight answer. It really depends on your draft mates. We've seen some guys reach on guys, some players fall, so you can't really go in with a strict plan, or else you're gonna see it get ruined in like the second round. All right, so Forsling and Theodore are both still there. I got a pick in both these rounds. I kind of have to check to make sure I didn't trade a pick. I got 2 here in round 12, so I must have acquired a 12th pick last year for something. Can't really remember. I don't think I'll need to stray too far from my queue for the rest of the draft. I only got 5 picks left, and one of them's going to be a goalie, so we will see who falls to me. Barbashev, someone else I'm looking at here. Pretty good coverage, really good playoff stats as well. Got good viewer counts tonight, so thanks everyone for tuning in on your Friday night. It's almost hockey season, so I'm glad to see everyone having good drafts so far or prepping for their draft. As always, if you have any questions, reach out tonight in any of our socials, Discord, Twitter. We have an Instagram and TikTok that we're starting to contribute this year too. So that's a little bit new. Not the same kind of output on YouTube that you see, but still really good. All right, clear. I'll take your word. I'm going to go Forsling here, and I'll pray Theodore falls again. And I will, if Theodore's there next round, I will take him, and then I should be okay for D for a little bit. But yeah, as I was saying, we're always happy to answer questions, so feel free to shoot us a message on any of our socials, and we'll get back to you and help you out. Discord's also been buzzing this year, so thanks a lot for that, guys. Good to see the turnouts in there every day. Always at work getting flooded with messages. I have to sometimes mute my phone to not distract myself, but yeah, it's great to see that. All right, let's check out the picks here so far. So I took. Let's go back all the way to my Husso pick. So Thompson went, Fleury went. So we see 3 straight goalies there. Larson, Batherson. So someone had their eye on him as well. Elias Lindholm goes. Luke Hughes. And then there goes Seth Jones. So someone said, forget the plus-minus concern. I'm going to take him for his points. Werenski goes a lot later than he should have. But again, on a bad team. Kyrou, and then I went Forsling. Ranta goes, so someone's already reaching into like the kind of guaranteed backup spot. Dursey, Carter Hart, there's a volume play, and Patrick Laine. Okay, Dynasty Bangers League. How high do you take Bedard? Dynasty Bangers. If there's any limit on how long you could keep guys, that changes my answer. But if there is not, like he could probably go in the first round in a Dynasty League if you can keep him going forward. I might not take him in the first round, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. So if you really, really want him, that's probably where you need to get him. Is there a way for Patreon to message other than Discord? Yep, you can message us on Patreon if you want. Clear. You can message us on Twitter. So between the 4 of us, Mike, Chris, Noah, and myself, one of us will get back to you, and we all share a lot of the same thought processes. Hey, buddy, starting goalies are Levi and Korpisalo. Go with Hart, Bennington, or Kochikov as my third. Oh, those are really risky starting goalies, but I can't speak too down on it because I have Jari and Husso right now. So if I had to go with someone, Bennington's probably the safest option. Hart is the better goalie out of the 3, though he's just on a worse team than Bennington is. So it depends what your league kind of more. If it's volume, I would be fine with Hart. Cyrus asks, Ehlers or Forsberg? I'd say Forsberg. Ehlers, I used to be a big Ehlers fan. I still kind of am, but he just does not seem to be getting the love from his coaches no matter what he does. He's shown blips of eliteness. Probably still get around that 50-60 points this year, but he just cannot take that next step forward. Okay, so we will check in on the picks here. So Laine went, then Nichushkin and Ferrari, who's a good sleeper D. I wouldn't have taken him over like Keandre Miller, but I still see the rationale in that. Nice Jari gamble, thank you. Well, let's hope the Pittsburgh vets can deliver this year. I know they're probably fueled by last year not being able to make it, and then just kind of seeing their careers wind down. They want to have a couple more runs at the Cup. That core of Crosby, Malkin, Letang. And they have like the Rust and the Gensels, who are still kind of middle aged, but not rookies by any means. All right, so it looks like Theodore's still there. I will take him despite his lack of hits and blocks. He's just kind of going to help fill in for that Montour absence on a good team as well. Last one, Haula or Forsberg. Say Haula over, or sorry, I would say Ehlers over Haula too. So I don't really think Haula is worth drafting in a league right now. So good coverage here with my D. I think I'm okay for that. I'll probably go back to a forward now, and I think Trocheck just went. He did. So Theodore, I took Theodore. Perron went, and then Trocheck. So that's too bad. I think Jeek's already gone too. Yep, he has. So those are two really good centers to get. You can easily pump them into your first or second center slot and be completely fine this year. Penn's playoff streak ended in the weirdest way. Yes, it did. I think it was because they lost to Chicago. I know Chicago had a hand in it, so I can't remember exactly if Chicago beat someone and that Pittsburgh needed to lose, or they lost to them. But I'm pretty sure Chicago was involved. Matty Beniers is still there. That might not be a bad pick. I do like him. Byram is still there, so no concerns on the plus minus there. Jake Sanderson, I will probably pass on this draft, but I do like him. And otherwise, I'm not seeing a ton of guys jumping out to me as like great steals here. you know, again, if I wasn't streaming, guys, and I was a Patreon, I would definitely be following along with these sheets here. So unfortunately, I can't really do all three at once, but kind of keeping track who's best available with these EV stats. So it's just kind of trying to value the guys there. You can see Forsling's up there right by Bouchard too. So that's a good suggestion there, Clear. Thanks for directing me to Forsling and confirming my thoughts. Chicago won a game they should have tanked and still ended up with Bedard. Okay. Will Sanderson get PP1? Feel like there's a good bit of competition. Yes, there is, Sav. That's definitely one of the burning questions this year going in. Not sure if he's going to start PP1, but I know he's got the ability to. He did last year, and even after they acquired Chychrun, he was still playing the most power play time. So Ottawa loves him. I know that for a fact. They're all over him, and they'll give him every opportunity to succeed. So if he shows he can handle some power play, then why not let him have that? Shabbat, I wouldn't be surprised if Shabbat gets hurt again this year too, right? I'm a Patreon. That's why. Thanks a lot, Clear. Appreciate you subbing on Patreon. Some great tools, and if you ever got questions, feel free to reach out on there. You got the premium channels in Discord as well, so that's a little bit less clutter, but still active. Okay, so we got Sam Bennett, Hagel, and Beniers. I'm probably going to take Beniers here. I like his point upside. Should be good for maybe 200 shots this year. Yeah, I expect a step forward for Beniers, even if Seattle doesn't. Even if Seattle kind of plays to less of what they were last year, I still like him. I've seen also note on Detroit. I've seen that they're kind of going with 3D on their power play right now. Sider is playing net front on PP1, and then Gostisbehere is playing D on PP1 as well. So they're going with 2D, and then Wallman is PP2. So that's something to keep in mind. Gostisbehere's got a lot of good value if he is PP1 because he's going to get those puck touches and he's going to get those power play assists. So pretty valuable if he sticks there. All right, so I'll go Beniers, get another forward on my bench, and then I will have to go one more forward and then a third goalie. So I'll roll with what this says, with Allmark being such a good pick here because of his value. On one of these, he was pretty high up. I might be... Oh, yes, sorry. Total fantasy points. I didn't have it sorted. There we go. So he was number one according to total fantasy points. I had it sorted by wins, but I thought I was dreaming there for a second. All right, so 2 picks left here. We'll see how it's breaking down in the draft here. Only 1 pick since I've gone, just Dawson Mercer. I pick in 3, and then I'll just have 1 more in around 13. Oh, sorry, 14. 4 D slots, 2 utility slots, and 4 bench spots. 1 bench D-man or 2. 4 D, 2 utility, and 4 bench. I would probably say keep 2. I don't know how often you're going to be putting a D in your utility spot, but it'd be nice to have that option at least. Maybe if you need some hits and blocks. So we see Keandre Miller go, which is too bad. He would have been the next D I took if I was going to, but someone beat me to him. I kind of like Hagel this year. I think he's going to be probably top line in Tampa, and we saw him hit the 30-goal mark last year for the first time. So I could go McCann or Hagel. Kadri's still there. He's just only a center. This is something I see in this league every year. Centers are always sitting around there because no one wants to take just a centerman. The positions are too important here, so you can't roster that many centers. All right, I'm going to go Hagel, and hopefully that Tampa boost helps him out. So again, see, it pushes him into left wing and puts Hughes on my bench. Jack Hughes benched. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I will be taking a goalie with my last pick, and it's going to be Artur Akhtiamov. I think Dominic DeVicentis, Brandon Busey, Jackson Stauber. He played a couple games last year for Chicago out of the ECHL. I love Bagel. Good pick. Yep. Yeah, I'm intrigued by him this year, so I'm hoping that Tampa Bay top six helps him. Still don't understand how OEL is going undrafted. Our last round in 4 of my drafts so far. Isn't he PP1 to start the year? Yeah, he's playing PP1 right now in preseason. I don't know if it'll necessarily stick, but I know he's had a good preseason so far point wise. So I could easily see him staying on there. It's really only Forsling right now he's going to compete with, unless Josh Mahura is going to come out of somewhere. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get picked here. So as I said, I'll probably put Montour on IR and then pick up Ekman Larson. And then with my last pick, I think Gibson should still be here. Yes, he is. Yeah, I don't know what to think about Anaheim this year. I still don't love their they're obviously a few years away from being really competitive, but if Zegras and Terry take those next steps this year, like we could see a 500-ish Anaheim team. I'm okay with that from my third goalie. Gibson, I know there was some talk about him wanting out of Anaheim and onto a more competitive team, but he needs a good team in front of him to be relevant here. So Kane goes, so that's interesting. Shattenkirk, Domi, Kane, Skinner, and Bertuzzi have all gone. Hey man, can I ask you a question? I got 3 drafts within 90 minutes on Monday. Can I be logged in on 3 separate devices? Yes, you can, Michael. You can. I'm 99% sure you can draft. I know I've done 2 before myself, but I would assume 3 is the exact same. If you got 3 devices and can manage, by all means. But yeah, 3 is tough. See if you can get one of the commissioners to move it to a different day or something. Yeah, I've done 2 before. One of our buddies I know has done 3 at once, but yeah. So I don't remember if it was necessarily Yahoo. On Monday is wild. Is it on? Oh yeah, it is on Monday. Okay. I thought it was gonna be tonight. Yeah, that is true. Monday's cutting a little close for all 3 of those drafts. Okay, so we can take a look at these standings here. That's pretty interesting. I guess they project these stats. So I'm currently projected 7.5. Oh, and I just dropped to 9th after 1 pick. That is very, very interesting. There's a couple guys in the 80s here, I think. So, I moved up to 8th now after another pick. So things are looking good if I keep moving up. Okay, so these kind of take a look at all of your categories, see where you're ranked. I'm assuming I'm pretty low in all my goalie categories. Yeah, bottom half, second last, fourth last. So these just go off of Yahoo's projections as well, which I would take with a grain of salt. Save percentage, dead last, shutouts, middle of pack, and then total 8th still. So when I take Gibson, it should help a little bit of those counting stats like the saves and wins, but yeah, I don't really take Yahoo's rankings or standings very seriously, especially at the beginning of the draft. I don't know if any of you guys do other drafts like football, but they'll send you a ranking like you got a C- in your draft, and it's a bunch of baloney. So don't listen to it. It'll project you 1 in 15, and then you'll end up going like 12 and 5 or something. So I'm ready for this year. Yeah, I bet you are. 3 drafts. You have to be ready, or else you'll crash and burn. I'll be okay. I've done 75 plus mock drafts. Michael, I think you win the award in here for most dedicated fantasy player. 75 mock drafts. I don't know how you have the time for that, but that is insane. So I'm sure you're ready. If anyone is, where can I find the link to the Discord? Let me post it for you here. I will get it up. I have some time. I'm picking 4 picks, but I will get the link. It's also should be in our description, but here it is for anyone interested in the Discord. So coming up in 2 picks, a 1 pick now. Spurgeon goes, who is now out week to week, and Bowen Byram. Byram's a good pick there. Yeah, Spurgeon, I think it was a lower body injury I saw, so he is going to be out week to week. Probably will miss the start of the year, and that is going to help Kalen Addison, who should be PP1 there. So he's a kind of an interesting late pick if you need some power play points on D. So he led all rookie D in power play points last year. I think he led all rookies too. Okay, so did Gibson? Okay, Gibson didn't go. I will take Gibson here. I want to see how far I move up in this when I take Gibson or down. There, see, I moved up 2 spots when I took him. All right, interesting. Well, anyways, that's my team. I will let this play out. For those of you who want to stick around, I'll go through some of the teams. As I said, there's no FP guys in here, so don't. I didn't have to worry about anyone snagging some picks unless some of these viewers are in my league, but I doubt it. Don't forget it when you head out. Drop a like. Yeah, appreciate you coming in on your Friday night to watch. It's been fun as always. I know I got one more draft at least with the FP guys, so Mike, Noah, and Chris are all in it, so that's going to be really fun. I assume one of them is going to be streaming it. That's going to be tomorrow night, so I don't know which of us yet, but that'll be on tomorrow night. If you got nothing to do or want to listen in the background, we will be here. I've been doing random mocks since late August, kind of do them for fun at one point. Yeah, that's the way to do it, Stomp Guy. Never too early to start, and you can kind of get a feel for where guys are going. And then once it gets closer to league start, then the ADPs kind of correct itself. So Jeremy says, newbie fantasy hockey player. Any drafting advice at 5 and again 8. Shallow 6-team draft points league with hits. Okay, so 5 you're going to just want to see who falls. So assuming the top 4 is McDavid, Draisaitl, Matthews, and McKinnon in some fashion of those 4, you kind of have to pick between like Pasternak, Rantanen, Kaprizov, I guess. I would kind of pick Rantanen or Pasternak. I think those are kind of the common picks at 5. Yeah, so you got it there. Seems to be number 5 in most mocks. He's going to get you your 300 shots. He's going to get you probably 40 to 50 goals. So I don't have concerns with Pasternak. A little bit hesitant because he's lost his centerman in Bergeron and Krejci. So whoever he was with, whether it was on the power play or 5-on-5, they're gone. So gotta kind of adjust to that, but nothing he can't do. Don, beat the other FP guys tomorrow. You can do it. Thank you, Wicked. Good to see you in here too. Makachuk, possible 5th pick. Yep. So with hits, I agree with that. Kachuk's a good option there too. Matt Kachuk's kind of someone I'm only targeting if it's like hits, blocks, pims. I would love him there at 5, but I would probably side with Pasternak or Rantanen, but can't go wrong really at 5. If Matthews falls to 5, would you take him over Pasternak? Yes, I would take Matthews 3, likely in your league. So myself and most of the FP guys all like him around at the 3rd spot over Mac, just because his floor is really, really high, and he's kind of been a little bit healthier over the past 4 years. So I got Matthews at 7th pick. That's a steal, Wicked, so good for you. All right, so here's my team. I will quickly go through a couple. If any of you guys have a specific team you noticed that you wanted me to look through, then just shout it out in the chat. But yeah, I kept Kucherov and Hughes. Then my forwards, Miller, Svechnikov, Marchessault, Hagel, Reinhardt. My D, I'm pretty happy with. Heiskanen, Sider, and Forsling. Montour, I took. He's going to be out a little bit, but I got him at the 79th pick. So I had to take Theodore to kind of fill in for him in the meantime. I will put him on IR and probably pick up OEL. And then my bench rounded out with Theodore, who I mentioned, Beniers, and Jack Hughes, who got pushed into the bench. Goalie's a little bit shaky, but Jari, Husso, and Gibson should be competent enough to keep me in the goalie categories. I really appreciate the advice. Yeah, no problem, Jeremy. If you got any more questions, like definitely join our Discord. Ask away. There's myself, the other FP guys, and then a lot of the mods like Wicked are always active in there. Happy to answer questions. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up now. I think it went pretty well. I'm happy with my team. Time will tell if the goalies pan out or not. But thank you for watching. Drop a like on your way out. And yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for coming, and we'll keep up to date. We'll keep you up to date on anything newsworthy for tomorrow. What time the stream is, and yeah, good luck on all your leagues. So thanks a lot, guys.